Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. He's Jack. What's on the table today?
Okay, today we're going to talk about the cognitive dissonance that we all take on as we start to understand the reality of reality, we'll say. So basically, cognitive dissonance is when your perception of contradictory facts takes a mental toll on you.
Okay.
So when you know something is one way and then you're walking around and there's a bunch of zombies around you and they're all saying a lie that you know is true, it just takes a mental toll. You're like, geez, like what? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so a non-controversial, we'll get into controversial examples in a second, but a non-controversial example that I came up with was Galileo. Okay.
Yeah.
So Galileo knew that the solar system was such, that the earth was such. And everybody around him told him, no, that's not how it is. And I'm sure somebody threw something at him at one time. I'm sure he almost went to jail one time and muttered something. Yeah. Like this guy's whole life for a period was just people telling him how dumb and stupid he is, but he didn't go back on it because he knew it was a fact.
Yeah, he'd scientifically proven it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that takes a mental toll. You know, does he start drinking at this point? Like would you know what I mean? Beating his wife because he's frustrated and I don't know. I don't even know if he was married. Irrelevant. So basically, the kind of point here that I'm going with is that if you don't feel a cognitive dissonance, and you may feel it and have not identified it as such, but if you don't feel any cognitive dissonance, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it completely wrong. Because the narrative put out there in so many different directions is all just completely false. And each one of those things, you have to listen to people every day say the wrong thing, and you don't say anything just knowing, or you're watching YouTube and you know what I mean, can't say anything, or maybe you go leave a comment and nobody reads it. I don't know. Right? So let's think of basically, okay, here's my idea.
Okay.
Just scroll through and look at the names of our videos. Okay. Right? And just look at the different things that there are. Now imagine if you knew all of those things, and you might know more, but imagine if you know that the government blew up the Oklahoma City bombing. Right?
The building, right?
The building, right? Yeah. And you know that the Holocaust didn't happen. And you know that, you know what I'm saying? And you could just go down the list and like you watch one YouTube show and you'll see 40 different references that are just to things that they're lying because they just don't know. And then each one of those is taking a mental toll on you. But it's worth it to have, because it's worth it to take the mental toll as opposed to just doing the blue pill thing.
Yeah, if it's something that you want. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming there's at least some curiosity of trying to figure things out. And as you see these things that are wrong, I always picture the dog, you know, when a dog does, and he does a little, you know, side head thing. Yeah. I feel like that's what I do internally when I can hear a brand new topic. I don't know why I'm responding this way, but my brain is telling me, I don't think that's right. And I can't explain it. That's that feeling that's how it shows itself in me, that this reality that I'm being proposed doesn't match up with every experience and thing that I've sensed and learned in my entire life. It doesn't reconcile. And for me, I want to understand the truth. And, I've had to learn to identify that reaction and hold on to it. Well, wait, why don't I like that? And sometimes it takes time to go through and figure out and research the topic or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter what the topic is until you realize you had that feeling for a reason. And that's, that feeling is there for every step of the way. I mean, you never get over that thing. And, well, maybe you could. Once you realize all the big picture stuff, I feel like that feeling goes away because you just expect all this stuff now.
Right.
You're expecting the lies. And
yeah. I'm going to give you an example of when this happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that giants used to exist, like human beings who are giants?
I would have no problem believing that. If that's fine.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I was in a conversation and the guy says, we were talking about the pyramids or something. Okay. And the guy says, yeah, well, maybe giants built it. Oh. And I'm like, ha, that's funny. Giants. Yeah, whatever, you know? And he's like, No, maybe giants built it. And I'm like, I'm game. What do you got?
Okay, yeah.
He's like, cool.
What a great conversation.
And then you look at the evidence. It's amazing. Like, who are the references of who are they referencing? They're referencing Magellan. They're referencing Sir Francis Drake, Flavius Josephus, who was a famous Hebrew historian.
Okay.
You know, picture evidence in the newspapers. Do you know what I mean? Do you know about the San Diego giant?
No.
There's a San Diego giant.
Like the city? As in
the city.
Okay.
Yeah, they found a giant. He was mummified, you know? They took pictures with him. It's in the paper all over the country. The Smithsonian, I'm going to make you watch this with me.
I can't wait.
Tomorrow.
This sounds great.
I'll just let you know. Because my kids like it because it's like, what, giants? But they basically took this guy so the Smithsonian came and said, hey, we're going to test him, see if he's real. And then he was real. He's mummified, you know? So they bring him, display him in the Smithsonian. 13 years later, they remove the display and they say, actually, it was a fabrication. It was made out of gelatin.
Really?
But wait a second. Everybody, not just you, everybody's tested this. This is a real thing. There's even a story about this is a conspiracy theory. But the story is an American platoon went missing, right? Okay. And then the soldiers got there and they're searching around and they find this enormous cave and they get in this battle with like this 12-foot tall red-haired giant who spears Dan immediately. You know what I mean? And they shot him for 30 seconds, continuous fire in the face to kill him. Do you know what I mean? And then he got shipped off to a lab somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a conspiracy theory. But there's a lot of like really good historians because this all came about. Can I tell a story real fast? This is
another one. Yeah, go for it.
Kind of unrelated, but it's not really. But basically Abraham Lincoln has this quote that he wrote in his journal when he went to Niagara Falls. And he said, hey, these Niagara Falls are so amazing. It's amazing that they were running at the time, you know, they were falling at the time of Adam, at the time Moses crossed the river, at the time of Jesus Christ. And it's amazing to think about how many of the races of giants who used to live here, whose bones are strewn all across the land, stood here and stared at this. Really? There's stories from the American Indians, every single American Indian tribe. There's all this stuff. But it's like, if you don't have an open mind enough to look into this,
sure.
You know, and then that was 1848 with Lincoln. Okay. So that was before 1869, which was the origin of species, and 1870, which was the dinosaur rush. For the bones, because they realized, that's what's all around us. So that's why I was thinking that Lincoln was wrong. Okay. But I was open to the idea that he was right. Yeah. And in the end, the Lincoln evidence is not compelling. Because if you talk about it before we realize that all the bones around us are fossils, you just think they're giant rhino bones. Right. But all these other stories, like newspapers and like, it's very, I'm going to link that video. It's completely unrelated to our channel, what we do, but it's fascinating, 30 minutes. But like, I like your reaction. That's the reaction that he had that we want you to have when you scroll down the list and say, oh, F this. I'm not watching these guys.
I know this isn't true.
Right.
Do you?
Right. Do you? I would respect you so much if you did that. You clicked on the video, say the first Holocaust video, you know, and then you watch it and then you just write in the comments, facts, just facts. You can give your opinion and use as many curse words as you want. I don't rightly care. But give some facts.
About why it's wrong.
Why it's wrong.
Right.
Right. But if you got that closed mind, you're never going to get there. Right. And I also want to say that if I could make it as a measurement system, so the measure of how accurately you perceive reality is based on how much cognitive dissonance you have. Yes. If you have none, you inaccurately perceive reality.
Yeah, you're just taking in exactly what they feed you.
Right.
And assuming that why would they lie to us?
Right. And then, whatever stage you're at is fine. Sure. I don't condemn anybody for being at any stage.
We're all at that stage at some point, wherever you're at.
Right. And the goal is to develop critical thinking skills. When you hear something that's too spicy to be real, go out and research it. Mm-hmm. Go actively say, okay, I was going to watch my normal show, but now I'm going to do whatever it is, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Or when you hear something, like, just don't immediately shut it down. Hey, tell me about that. Right. And I don't care what the topic is. If I didn't have a strong opinion about giants, but let me hear it. What do you got?
Right. And when somebody tells you something way out and you're thinking about whether or not you're going to critically think about that, whether you're going to research it, you also have to look at the credibility of the person. If it's CNN telling you some conspiracy theory, like Don Lemon is maybe the Bermuda Triangle is a black hole opening up, and you know what I'm saying? You don't even go look that up. Nobody looks that up. That's ludicrous. Yeah. But then when you see somebody you respect, sure, who's You got to give it a little more credence and then actually go do the work. I'm just trying to get people to critically think and go do the research.
Right.
Research everything. Every video you watch of ours, research it and figure out how we're wrong. And if we're right, then adopt the view. If we're wrong, put it in the comments so we can post a addendum to the video.
Okay.
Because we just want the correct stuff. That's what we want.
Right. We're not pushing a specific thing for the sake of pushing it.
Right.
I feel like there's another person you could be as you're listening, you either on board or not. There's some people that can read the facts and go, man, they're probably right, but I can't handle that yet. And because you can't.
Do you think they subconsciously or consciously think that? Their brain just shuts it down in the back? Or do you think they physically think, oh, it's too scary?
Well, like the Holocaust stuff, it took years for me to, after my first video that I watched was onto the science and the numbers for ovens. And at the end of that, I was like, all right, I'm like 50-50. No. I knew at that moment, but I could not get that far. And then it was, as time went on and I learned other things, that percentage is going up as far as me being able to accept it. Because that's a reality-shattering idea that the Holocaust didn't happen. And even though the evidence is right there and it could not have happened, I was not able to accept it yet.
Interesting. For me, it was different.
Okay.
For me, it was, I met a guy and he was trying to convert me, you know?
Okay.
And I was also trying to convert him to the ideologies that we had at the time, you know? And when he passed me the certain book, which I think the book is called Did 6 Million Really Die? It's pretty short. I think it's like 48 pages or something. And I read it and I thought about it for a second. I said, okay, if I can verify the things in this booklet, then I guarantee it didn't happen.
Oh, interesting.
I just have to verify the things in the book. So when I go to look up the first one to see if the answer is this is a lie, the chances of this book being true would go down to like 1%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to need all of them. Well, no, not necessarily all of them. There could be an elaboration on one, but the general, okay. But basically, yeah, I was like, I'm game, you know?
Okay. Yeah, it took me way longer on that one.
Okay.
So anyway, just throwing that out there that there could be people who see the facts and...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we got.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any stories about you, like if you can remember the first time that you had the little dog look and you're like, wait, what did they say? Is that really true? Love to hear about that kind of stuff, or any other views you have on the subject. We'd love to hear. Please check out our other videos. We post new content Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And hope to see you watching one of them.